ordinances.
Ordinance number 4, an ordinance amending section 2-152 of Article 31 of Chapter 2 of the Code of the Township of Teaneck respecting waivers of health insurance coverage. Ordinance number 9-2016, an ordinance renaming the Environmental Advisory Board for Votee Park to the Environmental Advisory Board and amending section 2-148 of Article 30 of Chapter 2 of the Code of the Township of Teaneck.
Okay, I'd like to, yes.
I think after some conversation, we wanted to adjust or amend the ordinance A. Because that's something we discuss right now before we go into a hearing, or should we do the hearing first?
Mr. Attorney, I think we should talk about what adjustments and then have that hearing. Is that what you're suggesting?
I mean, we can have the hearing, but I think what
But
the
then-
public's going to say is what we're going to want to say as well, and then we can make that change.
Listen, what I'm looking
There's a
for,
requirement for a public hearing that does not preclude the council from discussing the ordinance in advance. In fact, your
Good.
rules of
Beautiful. So let's
procedure
discuss that
allow
now.
you to do that.
okay. So what I was looking for with this ordinance is the same thing that we were looking for a couple weeks ago or 2 weeks ago, whenever we discussed it, was unanimous support for this ordinance, which will obviously help residents and taxpayers save money. There were some issues originally that Councilman Sohn brought up a couple weeks ago, and I thought we addressed it. I don't know if there's any other concerns from any council member today that would preclude them from voting yes on this ordinance, so I'll just go from right to left. Mayor, do you have any reason that you would not support it? Is there anything you want to change?
I want it to stay the way it is.
You could please use the microphone if you can.
I support it the way it's written.
Okay, Councilman Schwartz?
I think we went back and forth on those first effective May 6, 2008, and we were, on the language. And if that's going to give us unanimous support, we can make that change. We can,
Councilman-
would you support that? Or you?
Councilman Sohn, is that something you feel comfortable with?
That's exactly what I'm looking for, is removal of that. And there was a lengthy discussion that I had with Mr. Rupp, and that is exactly what I'm looking for at this point in time.
Okay. Can we go on to next just to see if, because Councilman Castle's not here.
I am in no way, shape, or form comfortable with introducing or passing this ordinance as is, given that there was very clear direction that was given, and there was no conversation as to why certain things couldn't have been done in public at that time. So why we get surprised with an ordinance and then have to have a conversation about it, and then have residents question whether or not we're going to pass an ordinance that is not in line with the direction that we gave, we should all feel uncomfortable about that. Mr. Kramer had said it was either clerical error, employee direction, or a secret meeting. I think maybe it's all of the above. Who knows? What I do know is that it is a violation of the Open Public Meetings Act for 4 members of council to get together in any way, shape, or form and have conversations as members of council without actually, making that public. Oftentimes that happens. Oftentimes it happens in an unofficial capacity. I can only point to the pictures that I've seen where it's happened, and I find those disheartening. But I hope that there wasn't some unofficial meeting of at least a quorum of council and this was done. I'm pretty certain in this instance that wasn't done. But there's no way that we can pass this ordinance as is. So I'm going to support Councilman Schwartz's motion that we scrap it, or scrap that language.
Here is the question and I'll ask the same question I asked 2 weeks ago, is I want to see this as unanimous. I want to move forward.
The question, I think,
Yes.
can we do it tonight or not?
Yes.
I think
Yes,
we're
we
all in
can.
agreement.
Fine, so
then we're all in agreement in scrapping the language.
Well, that's the question. So, Councilman Castle.
Yeah.
What would make you feel comfortable to support this ordinance? The removal of what?
So let's go back. It's Groundhog's Day, right? That's what
I
it
know,
is.
it's the same question.
We
I
are
asked
going to
you.
remove the language that
I
says.
actually, last time I offered you a magic wand, but this time I offered.
This is true. To remove the language that states effective, what's the date? May 6, 2008.
And that'll make you feel comfortable to support this?
Yes.
Councilman Hamadoun,
We're all.
same?
Yes.
Well, speak for yourself, then, Councilman,
Yeah, I think that we're in a bind. We passed,
what would make you feel comfortable to
I'm
pass?
going to tell you what makes me feel comfortable.
Okay,
We introduced an ordinance without that line in it. Let's pass it without the line in it.
Yes.
okay, Councilman Schwartz? Councilman Sone, what would make you feel comfortable?
And I'll second that. Again, I think we have to do a better job of formulating the wording of motions and making sure what we have, making sure that we have minutes that show what we've done in previous meetings. But in reviewing, in lieu of minutes, in reviewing the article that was published in the record after that meeting, that the proposed ordinance, again, just rather explicit, that the council asked Township Attorney William Rupp to remove a provision from the proposed ordinance that states the township has been able to give the payments since May 6, 2008, when the council at the time passed a resolution to do so. That's what we're asking to do. I think we asked that.
That was eliminated.
Okay.
That was eliminated. The provision you're now talking about is not about payments. It's about
The effective date.
requirement of the township to pay premiums, right? The provisions relating to the incentive payments was in fact deleted. That's what was discussed. I verified this with the clerk. The clerk can advise you that this ordinance is exactly the ordinance that was amended at the previous meeting. The specific 3 changes that were made in this ordinance were put on the record, right? The exact sections
Can we vote?
were explained to the
let me
council,
just-
right? This ordinance is what was introduced. If you want to make a further amendment, that's another issue.
Okay, so,
But there's no mistake.
Mr. Rupp,
This is exactly what was voted on.
Let's move on. It's okay. Let's
Mr.
get
Rupp,
this going.
it seems like the council is unanimous in saying that they are going to support an ordinance removing this other date that is mentioned, all right? Before we take a roll call, is there any reason why you think we should or should not, or in a legal, on your legal opinion?
Well, I just want to make sure that I understand this. Again, keep in mind, my recommendation at the last meeting was that you don't amend
Okay.
ordinances off the cuff.
But
Having said that, having the council insisting upon doing it, right? What was done at the last meeting was E2, A, and B were intentionally omitted, and E2D was amended to remove the reference to paragraph E2B. That was exactly what the motion was made. You're now requesting a change to paragraph E1, which I do not believe was discussed at all at the last meeting. Having said that, is my understanding that you only want to delete the phrase effective May 6, 2008?
Yes.
But leave the rest of E1 intact?
Yes,
Yes.
that's my motion.
that's, okay, we're good?
Yes.
Statute, I should say that the general law is that you may make substantive amendments without the necessity of republishing.
So I'd like to make a motion to approve ordinance 4,
That's
2016.
non-substantive,
Good clarification.
right?
One second,
Again.
just let him finish.
The law doesn't have a list of what's substantive,
Okay.
and what's not substantive.
But
I
that,
will
but that
tell
is,
you-
we're gonna remove that because that seems like what the council unanimously will vote for. So,
I
Okay.
understand that, but that's not the legal issue. The legal
Okay.
issue, can you amend the ordinance this evening and adopt it this evening?
Yes.
If it's substantive, you cannot. If it's not substantive, you cannot. I mean, if it's
Yeah, I
not
understand.
substantive, you can.
Deputy Mayor, just a quick question, just a point of clarification, because since Mr. Rupp is warmed up and speaking, he can answer this question, but are we attempting to turn off the spigot here and not allow for any new waivers? Or,
No, that's not in there.
no, I'm just asking this for clarification. So if we remove this, are we still saying that employees are eligible to opt in for this waiver?
The $5,000 that we discussed.
New employees?
New employees.
That's not in there.
Well, that's the reason I'm asking the question. are we attempting to turn off the faucet and eventually phase this out, and we're not accepting any new employees who would receive this waiver? Or are we simply saying, everybody's still just entitled to it?
What do you want to do?
That's not in the discussion.
No, but
That's another discussion. This is about the ones who we have. We didn't have a discussion about what happens in the future. The new people.
No. Let me make sure.
yeah, the question that you're asking is, does this ordinance fix the current employees but not allow any new employees to opt out of the insurance and take a waiver?
Correct.
Okay.
This ordinance does not prohibit new employees from participating in a waiver. The section we're talking about now, by the way, doesn't deal with payments at all, but only deals with the filing of a waiver so that the township doesn't have to pay an insurance premium for those employees.
Paragraph 2C seems to be rather explicit in saying that any eligible employee can accept this waiver, and that would be whether they're hired on July 1st
Future
or whether
or-
they've been on our healthcare for 20 years,
Correct.
that they would be eligible to receive it.
Okay.
I think we need to pass this. I think we need to let, not get perfect, get in the way of good enough. If we want to talk about future employees, we can do that. This met the $5,000 test that we negotiated. If you're saying that if we scrap the words effective May 2008 is not I can't pronounce it, substantive, I'd like to make a motion to pass ordinance number 4, 2016, eliminating the words effective May 6, 2008.
Second.
If I just might.
No, please don't. Please.
Don't put words in my mouth. I did not say it was not substantive. I said if it was not substantive, you can't pass it.
Is it substantive?
Is this
One
substantive?
of the cases that talk about substantive.
I'm sorry, one second, Mr. Rupp. Please, if you can just give Mr. Rupp the respect that he deserves, yes.
The issue of what is substantive and
Seven members
non-substantive,
of council.
a case has described that as if people will come to support something that would not support it if you took the language out, or if people would come out not supporting something, right, and if you took it out, would support it, that is a substantive.
I understand. I'm
Okay.
going to
We
reintroduce.
have a motion. It
the-
seems like we have a unanimous, and now we'll take official roll call.
I think we should reintroduce it to be safe. I think we, you think we can bet?
Just
Okay.
go right now.
Go.
I'll keep my motion stands.
Okay, who seconded that?
Second.
The roll call is to reintroduce,
No.
is to adopt.
It's to
Pass the ordinance.
Yes,
Okay.
to adopt. It's to
No,
adopt.
no, we have a, yeah,
I mean,
yes, where were we,
the ordinance was introduced actually back on March 8th.
okay.
The ordinance was amended on
22nd.
the 22nd,
Okay.
okay?
Now we want to pass it.
Now you want to pass it as is, or if you want to amend it. If you want to amend it, you need a motion to amend, then
That's
a
motion.
motion to pass.
Okay,
Okay.
so Councilman Castle, you make that motion,
I
please.
will make the motion to amend, no, Councilman
the
Schwartz made the original.
You have to remove your motion, please.
Let me remove my motion very
Okay.
quickly.
Why does that, he motioned to amend?
He's got to make a motion to,
I will make the motion to amend this particular ordinance to remove the language effective May 6, 2008.
Second.
From again, paragraph E1.
I'm second. I'm seconding from you.
Okay.
I'm second.
From
Councilman-
paragraph E1.
okay, that's a motion from Councilman Castle, second from Councilman Schwartz.
Okay.
On this motion.
Motion to amend ordinance 4, Councilman Castle.
Yes.
Councilman Hamid
Yes.
Councilman Pruitt.
Yes.
Councilman Schwartz.
Yes.
Councilman Stone.
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Katz.
Yes, now we need a motion to pass, adopt.
I'd
Somebody
like to
wanna
make a motion to adopt.
Councilman Schwartz?
Councilman Schwartz, make,
Okay.
Second.
okay, it was, motion was made by Councilman Schwartz, seconded by Councilman Sone to adopt. Roll call.
Councilman Castle.
Yes.
Councilman Hamid.
Yes.
Councilman Pruitt. Councilman Schwartz.
Yes.
Councilman Sone.
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Katz.
Yes, congratulations, everyone.
Ordinance
Thank you.
4 is adopted. Ordinance 9 is still.
Go
adopted.
for